One of the most important things in trading, alongside psychology of course, is definitely having a strategy that you understand. There are so many traders out there that can't even write down like a strict plan or like a strict guideline to when they would place a trade to when they wouldn't place a trade. And they can't even like write down their rules. They don't even know what their rules are. Like, they change every single day. They don't even, and because of that, they're not actually confident when they're taking their trades, because if you can't tell someone else why you're taking a trade, then how are you going to know yourself? And that's kind of why I'm going to go through my own trade today, and I'm going to talk you through the thought process, because I found these really helpful when I first started trading. This will be extra useful to people who are trading order flow. I'm just going to be going through my step-by-step thought process, and like I said, this is the plan and the strategy that I use every single day. I never change it, and I'm going to try my best to break it down as simply as possible. If you are new to order flow, I would recommend first understanding the basics before you go and watch this video, or even just watch it. You can learn something actually along the way. I'm sure you'll definitely pick something from this video, whether it be understanding the bias, how I find my bias, or understanding my rules, which you can actually add to your own strategy, because my rules might help you. But obviously every single trader is different. This is actually my journal so far. So today I took 1 break even and 1 win. Not only am I going to go through the process and everything, I'm going to go through what I learned as well, so that you guys can learn from my mistakes. Okay,
Connection lost.
I feel like I don't know, I think I should just get rid of all of this.
Connected.
But this is basically the trade that I took. Actually, I won't get rid of it. I'm just going to explain to you guys what I did. So number one, if you have been watching my previous videos, you know what I always do. The first thing that I always do is mark out the previous week's volume profile and then the week before, okay? The previous week's volume profile is marked out from midnight Monday to Friday, 4:59 p.m. on the Friday, New York time. You do that for last week and the weeks before. And basically what I do is I always compare the point of control, and I just check to see if the volume profile has shifted downwards or upwards. Now, I did this for the previous 2 weeks, and I saw the volume profile shifted to the upside. The point of control has shifted to the upside. So overall, long term, I was bullish, okay? Now, I'm actually going to show you that I marked it out. Let me just get rid of the trading panel. So I'm actually going to show you the volume profile. Here is that the weekly? Yes, this is the weekly actually, yes. So here it is.
Connection lost.
This is the previous week's. The week before, I haven't marked it out because I just knew in my head, okay, it shifted upwards, so long term I am bullish. So that's the volume profile. Then I did the previous 2 days. That's this one and this one, 9:30 to 4 p.m. always. Oh yeah, just another thing, it was to 12:59 because last week I think it was a bank holiday on the Friday in America. So basically, I next do the volume profile for the 2 previous days, which is here, 9:30 to 4. Now I can see here the volume profile shift to the downside. That pink line represents the point of control. So the point of control has shifted to the downside. So short term, we are actually bearish. Okay. Now, getting on to New York session today, I saw that went on to the 5-minute, and I would draw out the developing volume profile. And I could see that the point of control had shifted to the upside compared to yesterday. And price for the majority of today, the whole of today, has been above yesterday's value area high. So I kind of knew that acceptance has already occurred and we just want to continue going higher.
Connection lost.
Basically. So we want to continue going higher, okay?
Connected.
So I was actually only interested in longs basically for today. unless we get some sort of drastic change, but only interested in longs, okay? So then I basically saw at the start of the New York session, we were actually approaching the weekly value area low, which is marked out by this green line over here. I don't start trading until 10 a.m, which is 3 p.m. in the UK. So I waited until 10 a.m. New York session. I then saw, right, we're going to get into the trades now. So just bear with me one moment. I would basically then get onto once I had seen the price, so when we zoom in, right, we can see that price is actually rejected to the upside from that value area low of the weekly, which is basically confirming my bias of going for longs today, okay? Now, so let's just go over what actually influenced my bias. So number one, we saw that price had rejected the weekly value area low to the upside. We had seen that the point of control had shifted to the upside. We had seen not only had it shifted upwards and rejected from the value area low, but also there was a high volume node at this area, which is represented by that green area, which tells me that price definitely wants to go higher. Now, when I had first, so 10 o'clock, let's just mark it out to 10 o'clock because we want to imagine that I don't know what's going to happen, right? That makes sense. So at the beginning, it was quite weird because it had actually gone all the way down. Price had actually gone all the way down here to this is represented by the low volume node of the weekly. I'll show you it in a second. So price had gone down to the low volume node of the weekly. Now, just one second. Just trying to remember. Let's just go into the 5 minute. I need to remember because the first trade that I took was actually a break even, and the second one was a win. And I believe, oh yeah,
connection lost.
Enter until over here. So initially,
connected.
Right now, the reason why I didn't just place a trade once it had rejected here on the well, it's not really a rejection, but you know when it came into contact with the value area low of the weekly, I didn't just immediately get into buys because I use something called Orderflow, which means I need to look for things like buyers getting into control, but here clearly sellers were in control because you can see there is a volume of 13k in bright purple saying that sellers are in control. But what I had seen here at the weekly low volume node was there was absorption. You see that rectangle at this time here at 10:20, there was absorption because there's 735 contracts and 825, and it is surrounded by lower figures, meaning that absorption is occurring, like I mentioned in one of my previous videos. And then I had seen that, I think if I went down to the 3 minute, the delta, which is the difference between the buyers and the sellers, were a lot higher, and I saw that the
connection
price
lost.
had basically closed above the value area low of the weekly, and that immediately just got me into longs over around this area here. If you just look with my cursor, I got in about there, and that ended up being a break even because price, as you can see, went up here and went back down. I don't usually it looks weird because I'm on a high time frame right now, but well, 5 minute, but yeah, I'm kind of glad. To be honest, even if I didn't go break even, it would have been a win. So maybe I should have just left it. Like, usually I do leave it, but I had seen like 5.4 contracts, the downside was that. But anyways, so yeah, and then I basically waited. I actually thought like maybe we won't get another entry, but price had rejected again off the high volume node of the weekly, and it had gone to the upside, showing that there was a quick change from sellers to buyers at this candle here. And then again, absorption occurred. It was very obvious that now buyers were in control. If we go down to the 3-minute.
Connection lost.
I don't know.
Connected.
Yeah, so we go down to the 3-minute here. See, look, 3.4 contracts, and sorry, 3.4 K of the volume, yeah, to the upside. That's where I got in. And then I just targeted, this was another high volume node, I believe. Yeah, high volume node of the weekly. I just targeted that. And it was a 1.34 RR. Yeah, we had absorption on like a higher time frame. We had a rejection to the high volume node. We had the value area low. So there are multiple key higher time frame areas which I basically went off. And then yeah, I just got in 1.34. It was quite a slow trade actually, but it made sense. And that's where price currently is right now. So yeah. So I initially got in here, break even. Actually, yeah, if you look at it from this angle, you can see I actually initially got in after the close from the rejection of the low volume node. Can't remember where I put my stop, but I think it was probably here actually, because there's a fair value gap and it also rejected off that. If you look here at around 10:30, there was a rejection from a fair value gap, so I was like, that was another confluence to the upside. But yeah, that ended up being a break even. Look, it actually almost hit take profit. It almost hit take profit because I targeted a 1 RR. That was my overall trade analysis. I'm going to show you actually the areas that I mapped out from the weekly, because you might be a bit confused like what these areas even mean. I'm just going to show you. So this green area, ignore that blue line. The reason why the volume profile has shifted, that the value area low, is because I'm on a different time frame. But you should always mark your volume
connection lost.
Your volume profiles on the 1 minute, so it's like a lot more accurate.
Connected.
So this was a low volume node. This was a high volume node, and I could see actually earlier on in the New York session, I was a bit put off by this because actually initially there was a rejection of a high volume node to the downside. So, but I didn't immediately just think, okay, shorts, just because I rejected off that, because high time frame bias was saying, like the weekly shifting to the upside, was saying buys, was saying longs, and then this rejection from the value area low was saying longs. And then also the point of control shifted to the upside from like between today and yesterday. Shifting upwards was saying longs. So I didn't immediately think shorts. I just stuck to my longs, even though I did see that. For me to change my bias completely, I would need to see the point of control shift to the downside below yesterday's point of control and a clear bearish structure. So yeah, I just stuck to my longs. I hope I explained it well enough. If there's like any other like additional questions, like something I haven't explained clearly, just drop it in the comments, because I am open to answering all of them. Or if you have any other questions, like it could be unrelated to this, drop a comment and I will get back to you. So yeah, thank you for watching.